Following Paul Manafort's whirlwind trial in Virginia, the verdict is in. A jury found Manafort, President Trump's former campaign manager, guilty on 8 of 18 counts. The judge declared a mistrial on the other 10 counts. Manafort was found guilty of 5 counts of tax fraud, 1 count of failing to declare a foreign bank account, and 2 counts of bank fraud. Prosecutors have not definitively said if they'll seek another trial. Here were some of the biggest moments in the courtroom. First, the prosecution laid out its case that Manafort committed a number of crimes. They argued that he hid millions of dollars in offshore bank accounts, evaded taxes in the US, and when his money dried up, they say he lied to banks to get more cash. Rick Gates, Manafort's former business partner, was the government's star witness. He pleaded guilty earlier this year and agreed to cooperate with investigators. At the trial, Gates testified that he committed crimes at Manafort's request, including hiding Manafort's income overseas and falsifying documents. But the prosecution's case mostly hinged on a long paper trail. You may have heard about Manafort's expensive shopping sprees and multi-million-dollar homes as the trial unfolded, like that $18,000 Python jacket and his ritzy Hamptons house. The prosecution presented evidence, like this email, showing Manafort funded his lavish lifestyle by wiring money to vendors from overseas accounts the government says he hid to avoid taxes. And they showed evidence that Manafort wasn't truthful with banks. There was an email from Manafort to Gates asking him to convert a PDF file into a Word document. Gates did so, and prosecutors say Manafort doctored the documents to inflate his income, which resulted in him getting more money in loans. Prosecutors also showed that Manafort got a bank executive a position on Trump's Economic Advisory Council right as that bank was extending him $16 million in loans. After more than 20 witnesses called by the prosecution, the defense didn't call any and wrapped things up quickly. Throughout the trial, Manafort's lawyers spent much of their time pinning the blame on Gates and attacking his credibility. For example, they forced him to admit to having an affair and to embezzling money from Manafort. They also argued that the evidence in the case was insufficient to convict Manafort. But remember, Manafort is set to face another trial in Washington, D.C. in September. His attorneys could have consolidated everything into one trial, but they opted not to. In September, he'll face charges of conspiring to defraud the United States, obstructing justice, and failing to register as a foreign agent while he was working for pro-Russian Ukrainians.